Yeah, good afternoon, guys. I'm sharing my screen. We'll start today's session. So last session we started a methods topic, right? In that I will give the summary like what we discussed in the last session. I will give the summary like we discussed about the methods and method combinations. Method combinations will learn about the method combinations and uh, single object we are returning as the input to the method. We are passing. We are passing. Uh, Object as an input to the method, object as input to the method, input to the method, and this is the single object, and we are passing multiple objects, multiple objects as a input to the method, as a input to the method, and next so method written single object, method written single object, method written single object, and method written multiple objects, method written multiple objects, method written multiple objects, multiple objects. So these are the, in the methods area, these are the things we learned, right? Methods combination, we are passing object as the input to the method, and we are passing multiple objects as the input to the method, and method return single object, method return multiple objects. So these are the topics we learned in the methods topic. Okay, fine, very good. Next we have the topic that is a very beautiful topic in the Java, that is constructors. So next topic is constructors. So the basic question they will ask like, what is constructor? Can you please tell me if you attend at the fresher level or any interview if you attend, the basic question they will ask, what is constructor? What is constructor? So constructor is a special method in Java. Constructor is a special method in Java. Is a special method in Java. Is a special method in Java, and which is used to initialize the instance variables, initialize the instance variables of the current class, instance variables of the current class, instance variables of the current class. Okay, the purpose of constructor is a special method in Java, special method in Java, which is used to initialize the instance variables of the current class. So generally, instance variables already you know, guys. Public class, the class name is the demo. For example, I'm taking, and inside the class, whatever the variables you declared inside the class, outside the method is called instance variables. For example, if I mention like int age, I'm declaring the variables, and some I will take string, some name I will take like this. So here initialization, I can initialize in two ways. This is the one way. This is the one way. Meaning initializing meaning we are assigning the values. This is the one way, and this is the second way. Normally this is the one way. For example, here I am mentioning some Raju. Okay, this is the one way to initialize the instance variables, and we have the another way, that is the constructors. Okay, so through the constructors also we can initialize the instance variables. So that is the point you have to remember. So constructors is the special method in Java which is used to initialize the instance variables of the current class. Okay, so when writing the constructor we have to follow some rules. What are the rules? So which is also similar to method type, right? So whenever you are taking the method, so here if you can see the points in constructor don't have any return type. Constructor don't have any return type. Constructor don't have any return type, any return type. Okay, next point is, next point is name. constructor name and class name should be the same. Constructor name and class name should be the same. Constructor name and class name should be the same. Should be same. Constructor name and class name should be the same. So the note point is, if you mention the constructor as a return type, then the constructor, it will be treated as the method only. It will be treated as the method only. So for example, here the syntax for the constructor is syntax for the constructor is, for example, if I take like public, the class name is the demo, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and inside the class, so we have to follow the steps. Constructor don't have any return type. So at the time of writing the constructor, no need to define any return type. Okay, so it don't have the return type. And second point is, constructor name and class name should be the same. Okay, demo, and this is the class name and this is the constructor name. Constructor name and class name should be the same. Okay, fine. Now we can mention with the parenthesis. Why I am mentioning parenthesis? Because this is also special method in Java, right? This is the special method. This special method don't have the return type. This is special method don't have the return type. This special method don't have the return type. From here to here, this is the scope of the constructor. So are you guys clear with my point? Constructor don't have any return type. Constructor name and class name should be the same. So here, generally the constructors are, uh, we have the default constructor. Default constructor meaning, if you in the programmer, in the program, if you don't write any constructor in program, in program, if you don't write any if you don't write any constructor in constructor, then JVM will provide default constructor in runtime. Default constructor in runtime. So this is the point you have to remember. So this I will show you the practical also. For example, now here I will go to any one of them. I will go to this one. So here I will take a new file. I'm taking one class. So the class name I would like to take as the test.java, and I'm opening test.java. Now the syntax you have to follow: public class and the test, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and here I'm taking the main method, public static void main, and you have to take string args, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class. Now you guys tell me, so here, did I wrote any constructor? No, right? I did not write any constructor in my class. Test is the class, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class. In this class, I am not written any constructor. If I am not write any constructor, then JVM, it by default it will provide one constructor. So this one I will show you the practical also. Wherever the file is available, you can go to that file location, and you can compile the file by using the Java C test.java, Java C test.java. So the file has successfully compiled. Now the command for testing the constructor, we have the command that is the java p tester, java p tester, java p tester. Java and p, you can mention with the tester where the file is available. Tester.java, public class, the class name is the test, main method. Okay, fine. Now you can go to the file location, cmd and you can compile the file java c test.java test.java. The file has successfully compiled. Here it has to generate a bytecode. Somewhere we did mistake. Public class test, public static void main string ops. From here to here, this is the scope of the class. Test.java. Bytecode is not generating. Go to the file location. Okay, we'll change other name. So we'll go with this one. Okay. Public class demo. We have the main method, public static void main method. Now we can go to the file location, cmd. Okay. Now we can run command, that is javac demo.java. I'm compiling. Now you can check java p demo. Now you guys, can you observe here, this is the constructor, right? Constructor is demo and parenthesis. In my program I haven't written constructor, but in when I am compiling this one, so by default the JVM is providing constructor. By default JVM is providing constructor. So that is the point you have to remember. The point here it is. So who is providing this one? JVM is providing this one. Okay. So if you are not writing any constructor in the program, so by default JVM will provide the constructor. By default, JVM will provide default constructor. By default JVM will provide a default constructor. So that is the point you have to remember. Default constructor. Okay. Okay, I will go to the program now. Demo. I'm going to the file. For a default constructor, you can use below command. Default constructor, we can use below command. We can use below command. Below command. The command is java p and class name. Java p and class name. Test.java. Java p and class name. This is the command to find out the default constructor. This is the command to find out the default constructor. Okay. Next point is, so based on the parameters, based on the parameters, constructors are divided into two types. Based on the parameters, constructors are divided into two types. Constructors are divided into two types. Constructors are divided into two types. So the two types are, first one is zero parameterized constructor, and the second one is the parameterized constructor. Second one is the parameterized constructor, parameterized constructor. Okay. So the point here it is, zero parameterized constructor meaning no parameters. This parameter programmer will create manually, and that constructor don't have any parameters. Okay. So the syntax I will write here. For example, the syntax for the zero parameterized constructor. Normally you can take any public class, you can take any demo of the file, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and inside you can pass some values like int age and string name. So these values, you can assign the values for these instance variables. You can initialize the values by using the constructor. Now I will take the constructor, and from this here I will take the parameters are like int a comma some string b, and from here to here this is the scope of the class, and from here to here this is the scope of the class. Now here I am initializing. Now here I am initializing int a equal to int a is equal to a. So here what I am doing, I am initializing. I am initializing. I am initializing. Already, the method, it is taking the parameters and it is doing the operation, and it is initializing the values. It is initializing the values. So I'm initializing the instance variable. So here initializing the instance variable. Initializing instance variables. Instance variables. Initializing instance variables. Next point is string name equal to b. String name equal to b. Okay, the same thing I can write through the programmatical as well. This is normally I would say zero parameterized constructor, meaning no need to mention any constructors, no need to mention any constructor. Parameterized constructor meaning you can pass the values. I will show you programmatically, you can get the clarity on it. So simply I will open my IDE. There I can show you. Okay, this is the driver class we have. So in that first we'll go with the zero parameterized constructor. Zero parameterized constructor, first class name and I would say method name should be the same. So class name is the driver, and this is the constructor. Zero parameterized constructor meaning we the constructor don't have any parameters. Now here simply what I will take some sysout statement. Here I will pass some message, that is hello. And how can I call the constructor? You can call the constructor by using the main method. You can call the main method main, and you can take the, and now you can create the object new demo. So creating object meaning calling the constructor only. Creating the object meaning calling the constructor only. Okay, so equal to some d and driver. Okay, creating the constructor meaning calling the constructor only. Driver. Okay, so if I run this one, now you can get the values. You can get the results. For example, I will run this one. Okay, creating the object meaning calling the constructor only. Okay, this is zero parameterized constructor. If the constructor don't have any parameters, then we can say that is the zero parameterized constructor. Then that is called zero parameterized constructor. Okay, and the next one we have the parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor meaning, so I will take the parameterized constructor. You have to have the parameterized constructor. For example, you can assume that driver have the two properties, int age, and next it have the string name, and now this we can initialize the values in two ways. This is the one approach, and you can initialize the values by using the constructor. So I am taking a driver, and from here to here I am passing. This is the scope of the constructor. Here I am taking two parameters, int a comma string b. These parameter, these variables, you can take anything. Okay, so simply what I am doing now, int age equal to a, and next one, string string name equal to b, string name equal to b. Here what I am doing, I am initializing the instance variables. I am initializing the instance variables. Now I need to call this constructor. How can I call? How can I call this constructor? You can call the constructor by using you can take the main method, and here you can create the object driver demo equal to new. You can take driver. Okay, now you can save this one. So here we have to pass the values. So here I am passing the values. Generally, age, right? So I am passing some 25 comma and some string value I am passing. The string value is some Raju I am passing. Some Raju I am passing. Okay. If I run this one, if I run this one, now we can mention demo, and here you can take sysout statement. Like here you can take age. Age is the one property, and here you can take name. Name is the two properties you can take. Now you can run the file, run a Java application. 25 and also 25 and also. So here the purpose of generally what we are doing, this is the instance variables. These instance variables we are initializing by using constructor. By using constructor. I hope this is clear. Yeah. So this is actually, these two are the instance variables, right? These two are the instance variables, and these two instance variables I am initializing by using the constructor class, by using the constructor. So I am using this constructor. So constructor is the special method in Java. So I am using that constructor options. Through that I am initializing the instance variables. Through that I am initializing the instance variables. I am initializing the instance variables. Okay. So constructor, no need to call the constructor explicitly. Whenever you are creating the object, so the constructor should be called by default. Constructor creating the object meaning calling the constructor only. Creating the constructor meaning calling the constructor only. Okay, this is all about parameterized constructor. This is all about parameterized constructor. And next we have the one more topic, that is constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. For example, here if I take, I'm take here I will take age, and here I will do the same method, the same constructor I will take from there to here. Okay, now what I will do generally, int a, int b, here also I will take int b, and here also I will take int b, and here I can take int c, int c, int c. So the same constructor, and I am passing different parameters. I am passing different parameters. I am passing different parameters. So in this case, this you can define with some other number. Now here I will do the directly. I can do addition like int sum equal to a plus b plus c, a plus b plus c. Okay, only here we have only to write a plus b plus c. So here I can mention sum. Here I can mention with sum. So similarly here also what I will do, int result equal to a plus b plus c, a plus b plus c. Now here I will pass the values. If I pass the two values 25 and 30, so this is the two parameters. Now the same thing I will copy from here. Now here I will take three parameters, 25 and some 50, 25 and some 50. So here I will change to demo 2. Now here you can take SOP statement. You can take SOP statement system.out.println, and in that you can mention a result. You can mention result. So now I can save the file. Now I can run the file. Now I can get the result. Now I can get the result 55. So generally the purpose of constructors are used to initialize the instance variables. Constructors are used to initialize the instance variables. Initialize the instance variables. Constructor is the special method in Java. Constructor is the special method in Java, and which is used to initialize the instance variables of the current class. And constructor don't have any return type. Constructor don't have any return type. And constructor name and class name should be the same. Constructor name and class name should be the same. Okay, so totally we have three types. So first one is the default constructor. If you don't write any constructor in the program, JVM by default, JVM will provide the default constructor. JVM by default, it will provide the default constructor. So based on the parameters, constructor is divided into two types. One is the zero parameterized constructor. Second one is the parameterized constructor. Zero parameterized constructor meaning, so constructor don't have any parameters. Constructor don't have any parameters. So simply we wrote the programs. We can take the constructor inside constructor. We wrote one SOP statement and we printed that one, right? So similarly, parameterized constructor meaning we can pass some parameters, and what here the constructor is doing, it is initializing the instance variables. So creating the object meaning calling the constructor only. Creating the object meaning calling the constructor only. So these are the points we have to remember in case of constructor. These are the points we have to remember in case of constructor. Guys, this is clear, or anyone have any question in this area, constructors area? Guys, any question guys in this area, constructors area?
Yeah, no, sir.
Okay, I think this is clear. So after that we have the topic that is the this keyword. This keyword. So in this keyword, this is the predefined keyword, right? The first point is this is the predefined keyword. This is the predefined keyword. And next, the purpose of this keyword, which is used to represent the current class objects, which is used to represent the current class object. Represent the current class object. Current class object. Current class object. Current class object. So generally, for example, every object will maintain instance of every object will maintain its own copy of the instance variables, right? So here, for example, here if I take public class demo, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class, and inside this class I'm taking two int a, and this is the instance variables int b. these two these two are belong to object level only, right? Now, if you want to initialize this, so generally instance variables you can initialize totally in Java in three ways. First way is directly can initialize uh, traditional approach, that is directly you can initialize like this. This is the one approach. And second one is the you can initialize by using the constructor, that is the one approach. Third approach is you can initialize by using the this keyword. This keyword. So the purpose of this is which is used to represent current class objects. Current class objects. Okay, so this one I will show you generally. For example, here I will take any other method, public m1 method, and here I am taking some int. So this one I will write the program on it, and then you can get the clarity on it. For example, so now the class is having, we can assume int age, and this is having string name. Okay, the method name is the void m1. The method name is I am taking void m1, and so here I am taking two parameters, int a and string b. String b. Okay, now this I will use this keyword, and through that I am initializing the values. So this dot age equal to a. So here what I am doing, here also I am initializing instance variables. Initializing instance variables. Initializing instance variables. Initializing instance variables. So similarly, this dot name equal to b. This dot name equal to b. And this is the instance method. How you can call the instance method? By using the main method. You can take the main method, and inside the main method we should create the object for the driver class. Driver dv equal to new driver, and dv dot m1 method. Here you can pass the values. I am passing some 30, and then I am passing some value that is 50. Like that I am passing the value. Like that I am passing the value. This is the string, right? Then if it is the string, you can mention as the string value. That is some Raju. Okay, if you want to print these values, you can take SOP statement, sysout statement, and you can mention age, and you can mention name. You can mention it. So if I run this one, run as Java application, you can get the data. You can get the data. So if you remove this one, you won't get the exactly. For example, if I remove this, and if I remove this, and if I save this one, if I run this one, run as Java application. So we are taking the values into it, and we are initializing the instance variables. For example, here it is returning the same values, right? For example, here if I will take like int age equal to age, and name equal to name, name equal to name. So here also I will change, which is like age equal to age, and name equal to name. If I save this one, if I run this one, run as Java application, you can get the data. You can get the data. The both are same, like age and age. We are passing the same values, name and name, and I would say just the thing. Okay. So generally the thing is it can represent the current class object. So we are taking the parameters and we are initializing the instance variables. We are initializing the instance variables. So these are the three approaches. These are the three approaches. So first one is the directly can initialize the values. Second one is by using the constructor, and third one is by using the this keyword. Third one is by using the this keyword. So these are all the three approaches. These are all the three approaches we have. These are all the three approaches. So I will share the some assignments on it. You guys can go through that. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? Guys, any questions, guys?